You are watching a KTVB special presentation. Innovative Educators, sponsored by CapEd Credit Union.
And welcome to the CapEd Credit Union Innovative Educators Special. I'm your host, Melissa Paul. Today we celebrate the teachers and instructors who have found their own unique ways to engage their students and raise the bar on learning. Plus, we'll share the message of CapEd Credit Union, who throughout the year lend support to our state educators, proving that they are so much more than banking. And while we don't have the time to share every outstanding educator recognized this year, you can view all the profiles by going to the Innovative Educator tab on ktvb.com. Well, we begin today with a teacher who believes that education involves lessons beyond the classroom, lessons taught at home. Julianne Russell has a strong focus on including parents with at-home projects. She says that parents have the ability to help their students achieve their full potential.
At St. Mary's Catholic School in Boise, there is a teacher with a love for math.
I tell students that math is everywhere.
And an even bigger love for her middle school students.
Math helps us solve problems, and that is what I want them to become, is just confident problem solvers.
But Julianne Russell is not just a math teacher. She's also a math specialist.
Well, a math specialist really means that you have some in-depth knowledge about all the different grade levels and the areas of focus that go into each one of those years of mathematics.
It's her traditional way of teaching.
It's maybe what people would call old school.
That helps students build a routine.
I'm not afraid of direct instruction, and I feel like for a lot of students, that provides a stability and a routine that allows them to feel confident with mathematics.
It's not just learning numbers or memorizing formulas.
I want them to understand why. Everything we do, I am not a fan of formulas.
And to help find why math works the way it does, that's where these tools come in.
I have what are called some algebra tiles. I have whiteboards and markers and erasers. I have giant number lines that move both horizontally as well as vertically.
And the purpose of them is to allow students to see and touch what they're learning.
There's so many resources that have allowed me to have people come up to my class and we have something for them to touch, to access that information.
X plus 3 squared.
That's right, because this is x plus 3 and this is x plus 3. You created a square.
Students can always count on her to celebrate their achievements.
It makes me feel thrilled, and I try as much as possible to celebrate with them and acknowledge, look how hard you worked. Are you so proud of yourself?
Julianne Russell, Innovative Educator.
And then again, congratulations to Julianne Russell. It's wonderful to see that all of her efforts are adding up. Well, it took the dedication of one certain educator to bridge a learning gap for their students. Third graders at Van Buren Elementary in Caldwell had a goal to increase their standardized testing scores, but in order to do this, they needed help in the spatial awareness category in particular, and that's where Armesia came in.
Oh, I think we have a successful one!
Building the knowledge for spatial awareness.
Last school year, we did a certain test, standardized test, and it was showing they needed spatial awareness. So they didn't know how many boxes would go in, say, a gray area.
It's now become a focus for Mrs. Armesia Miller's third grade class.
I hope that the connection goes to like in real life.
And it's not your traditional textbook lesson.
How can I bring something into our classroom that isn't worksheets, that isn't on the computer, that isn't like something that they always do? So I looked at the magnet tiles.
Magnet tiles are just that, magnets.
The main ones are squares, and they have magnets in all 4 quarters. They're different colors. Some of them are translucent, some of them are just colored.
The colors, magnets, and shapes are shaping kids' creativity.
They're fun and exciting for the kids. They get to just build with their hands and create things out of their imagination.
And in turn, they are learning multiple lessons.
You can drive a car straight up in the air? No. Hey, let's problem solve it. What can we do to fix it?
And these bridges have made it a friendly competition in her class.
If this bridge falls, I'm gonna land.
Fun and interactive lessons are a staple for Mrs. Miller's classrooms.
I'm definitely an out-of-the-box teacher. I with my pink hair. I'm sure that you can see that. I like to do fun and exciting things and keep the kids engaged in it.
She says it's also helped make connections with her students.
Getting to learn them and who they are means a lot to them with our connection. So in turn, comes around and then their learning is even more in depth.
Mrs. Miller,
My favorite part about teaching is the impact that I have on the kids.
innovative educator.
And stay with us. We'll continue with our celebration of outstanding innovative educators with CapEd Credit Union right after the break. And welcome back to the CapEd Credit Union Innovative Educator Half-Hour Special, highlighting teachers and educational services that make a positive impact right here in our community. Fiona Bartels at Rolling Hills Public Charter School in Northwest Boise is taking a hands-on approach to math education. She's stacking up the fun with the help of Lego.
It's okay to make mistakes and learn and grow from it.
Learning and growing a passion for math.
That's the reason why I teach.
That's the goal of Rolling Hills Public Charter School teacher Fiona Bartels.
If I can turn something into a game, I'm down with it.
And she's doing it with a game we all know and love.
We can take that concept and put it towards Lego. I work with them more in small groups with the Lego math.
Yup, you heard right. She's using Legos to teach her 5th grade students.
I would say my teaching style is very fun and project-based oriented. I'm all about hands-on learning.
And the kids, well, let's just say they were shocked.
They're like, what, Legos? Math? No. They're like, Legos are fun. I'm like, no, you can use Legos as tools.
So here's how it works.
Each nub is called a stud, and so you count the stud. So this one would be like this 1/16 of or a 16th stud. And if you were like, I want 1/16, it'd be like something like that.
But the teaching style is not new to math education.
I noticed that when kids have a physical candy bar or a physical Lego item and break it into fractions, for example, they have the visualness and they're like, oh, I see what Mrs. Bartels is saying about how we're dividing things and making it into equal.
It was an idea Bartels came up with from the comfort of her home.
My family, we're a big Lego family. We've been building Legos since the day I could walk.
And now she's being recognized for it.
And they surprised me at an assembly with a check.
In November, Bartels received a CapEd grant to build her Lego collection.
I want to make sure everyone else gets their own little packet, so I'm slowly building these little kits for them.
To continue making math fun.
And just build another one over here.
One Lego at a time.
My personal goal is to make fun and learning come hand in hand.
Fiona Bartels.
This is so much fun.
Innovative educator.
Oh, it's so exciting to see all the students putting those pieces together, figuratively and quite literally. Well, we use Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and other tech on a daily basis, but rarely do we think about how it all works. A 9th grade class in Middleton is diving into the world of electricity and magnetism, and one innovative educator, Katie Riberti, helps her students troubleshoot their findings.
In Mrs. Katie Riberti's classroom, students aren't just learning the basics of science or engineering.
Well, we were learning about electricity and how electricity is generated and how it's transported throughout the country.
All while learning how some of their favorite tech works.
All about the different technologies around us, right? Like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and how all of that works.
More specifically, her 9th graders are learning about the complexity of electricity and magnetism.
So they were able to make their own electric circuits. We were able to make our own electromagnets, and we were able to measure electric current induced by a magnet with galvanometers.
And through their findings, they've also ran into some issues.
We learned that a lot of the infrastructure for electricity is really outdated, and it's costing us a lot of money, and it's also just really not very efficient.
Their study led them to learn more about the power outages and why that happens.
We talked about the power outage in Texas that happened a few years ago that was really bad. And so my students were able to see like the real world consequences of this lack of really great electrical infrastructure.
So they went to work to find a solution.
They were able to really apply what we were learning to these hands-on labs, and that allowed them to come up with, they wrote essays where they came up with solutions for a problem that had to do with our use of electricity today.
She says this type of learning is one of a kind.
I think Having the lens of science, right, being able to inquire and investigate things is really important in all aspects of life.
Regardless of what life path each student chooses.
Even if you don't consider yourself a scientist, a lot of people practice science every day.
And she hopes her students practice what they learn in her classroom.
I want my students to be innovators.
Katie Riberty, innovative educator.
And Katie Riberty, a great example of the shocking and bright ideas that these instructors come up with, including Greg Keister. He's partnered with Idaho State Police and St. Alphonsus to take science to the next level. And his students in Nampa are getting a head start in life by learning about forensics.
Inside a science classroom,
I try to use real-life experiences.
Students learn about plants, earth, even space. But what about forensic testing?
Forensics, like the blood typing, is they can pull their blood type to see what blood type they are, either A, B, or O.
It's usually used in crime scenes.
They use that in crime scenes, and then they can take that further on down and get the DNA out of the blood type.
That's what Craig Keister is teaching his students at Columbia High School in Nampa.
And all the students were able to do that. There was a couple of them in each class that opted not to poke themselves and get their blood type.
They also use unique items like bananas.
We're pulling DNA out of bananas, and they're actually seeing the DNA strands in bananas.
But this lesson has a bigger purpose. Craig partnered with Idaho State Police to help teach this course.
As they are short in filling all their positions when it comes to forensics, and so they want us to help get these kids ready to work in the field here in the state of Idaho, for example.
And St. Alphonsus also played a role in making this course successful.
St. Alphonsus, they donated all the blood typing material for us so that kids could get their blood type, and we wouldn't have had that resource if we hadn't tapped into the community.
It's become a class more students want to take.
Kids are taking that class because it's something they have an interest in, where some of your core classes, students have to take those. They're not as excited, but you can also make those exciting too.
And his main goal as a teacher?
Get the kids interested, get them involved. So interactive.
Craig Keister, innovative educator.
And stick around because we're going to share more inspirational stories right after the break. And welcome back. There's no question that teachers make a positive impact in the lives of their students. Teachers like Trent Van Leuven, who was awarded the 2024 Teacher of the Year. And welcome to our More Than Banking segment, sponsored by CapEd Credit Union. In October, Trent Van Leuven was selected as the 2024 Idaho CapEd Credit Union Teacher of the Year. Trent is an Idaho native who works tirelessly to provide amazing opportunities for his students and his community. With Trent today is Idaho Superintendent of Public Instruction, Debbie Critchfield. She heads the Idaho Department of Education, which selected Trent from nearly 70 nominees. Also with us is Todd Erickson, President and CEO of CapEd Credit Union. Great to have all of you here. A very exciting moment to celebrate. And Trent, speaking of that moment, what was your reaction like when you found out that you've been selected as the 2024 Teacher of the Year?
Well, thanks. I was really honored, but also very humbled. We do a lot of great things in Mackay, but a lot of it's because we have volunteers and partnerships with the Idaho Fish and Game, the U.S. Forest Service, and some businesses. And we've got a technical advisory committee and some great community volunteers. And so it's really a testament to the great things that happen when people get involved in their local schools.
Absolutely. And give us a better idea. Take us into your classroom. What do you do with your students there?
Okay. Well, we do have a welding lab. We also have 3 greenhouses and a fish lab that we constructed with students and volunteers. Yeah. So currently we have about 6,000 fish that we're raising in the fish lab. And in partnership with the U.S. Forest Service and the Idaho Fish and Game, we have a fishery that we're maintaining, and we also raise these fish for those fisheries and help monitor them. So we also take students on a cross-country trip in October, the National FFA Convention. And in order to keep the costs low, the students do a lot of the planning. We come up with tours, agribusinesses across the country, and we actually have our 8th graders, they call hotels to negotiate the rates to help bring the cost down. So,
oh my goodness.
Those are just some of the things that we do.
Okay, so you have some very hands-on, real-life opportunities and experiences for these students.
That's what we hope to do all the time.
Wow, that is brilliant. It really is. And also, this is for you, Superintendent Critchfield. Trent, obviously, he has a career in technical education. And this is something that you've really focused on a lot in your first year in the office. So tell us, for you, what does this necessarily mean when it comes to technical education? Help us further understand what it is that he's really focusing on and why it's so important.
For me, the easiest way to explain it is to say we're taking knowledge and the education that we're providing to students and then having them apply it to something. So we want our students to be able to do things too. We want them to know things, but we want them to be able to do things. And so when we look at career technical education programs, you're also learning it's math, it's science, it's language, it's listening, it's all of those skills, and then taking it and putting it in a real life setting. So as Trent's described, he's got a thriving program of students that are interested in learning more about fish. But broadly, we see other programs around the state that are culinary, that look like graphic design. And so I think that we in our minds traditionally think of career technical education as automotive and welding, and it is those things, but it's so much more than that.
Yes, that's such a great way to describe that too. I love the highlight of the fact that you're not only learning something, but you're actually applying it. And that is the true test of knowledge, right?
I think so.
Yes, absolutely. And Todd, CapEd Credit Union, you were the first ever sponsor of the Idaho's Teacher of the Year program. Why did you find it important to be a part of something like this?
Well, as a company, we have a vision that says that not only will we financially empower the members, our 105,000 members that we currently have at the credit union, but part of our vision is also to enrich the community. And we do that mainly through supporting quality education. So when we were approached by Superintendent Critchfield to support Teacher of the Year, we were obviously very excited to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And if people watching right now too actually would like to know more about Teacher of the Year, where do they go?
Well, they can go to our website, capedcu.com, and find out the information about Teacher of the Year, and we can give them all what they need to know and give them that information.
Wonderful. And Trent, before we wrap up though, I do have to point out the fact that you're actually, you're going to be in town for the next week talking with Idaho lawmakers about your work, teaching in general. What is it that you really want them to take away from the conversation?
I'm hoping to talk about talent pipelines and the great things that happen when businesses and post-secondary and our local schools all work together to prepare students for careers that exist locally. And I want to highlight the great things that are happening in education. I truly believe that we are in the golden age of career technical education. And just like I tell my students in the shop when they're at the forge and the anvil, we want to strike when the metal's hot, and there's a lot of momentum, and we can do some great things in career technical education for Idaho. So
beautiful. So well said. Okay. So well said. Thank you all, and a big congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
And again, a huge congratulations out to Trent Van Leuven. We're sure that extra cash will come in handy too. It's all too often that we hear how educators struggle to fund the lessons in their classrooms, often dipping into their own pockets to help support the education of their students. And it's one of the reasons why CapEd believes in supporting Idaho's educators in multiple ways. One way is with the Idaho CapEd Foundation, which you just heard about. From the month of September through March, educators can apply for a grant. In fact, some of our KTVB innovative educators are grant recipients. It's all a part of a great effort to foster quality education in the classroom and beyond. Like financial education, CapEd Credit Union is deeply invested in offering financial literacy programs to our community so we can all make better informed choices to live our best lives. And it's now time for More Than Banking with CapEd Credit Union. Financial literacy, it's a tricky subject. And unless you are an expert, mastering your finances can seem impossible. But we're in luck because we have CapEd Credit Union. They specialize in financial education, making even the most difficult financial ideas seem simple and doable. So we're joined right now by Brenna Greenwood. She is with CapEd Credit Union. And it is so great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
This is a topic that I think we should all include in our education, starting from elementary school.
I know.
That's my soapbox.
That's what we do.
All right. So tell us a little more. Tell us about your role with CapEd.
Yeah. So my position at CapEd was actually created in conjunction with the passage of House Bill 92. And it's to further our mission to support quality education and give people financial empowerment and enrich communities and individuals. And so I get to travel around and I get to teach. My background is in teaching. I was a high school teacher for 9 years.
Oh, great.
And I get to travel to schools and organizations around the Valley, and I get to teach financial concepts.
This is brilliant.
Yeah.
I love this. All right, so I have to admit, I'm not very familiar. So tell us about House Bill 92. What is this?
Yeah, so House Bill 92 was passed for the 2023-2024 school year.
Okay.
And it requires local education agencies to offer financial literacy courses. And it actually requires seniors starting this year to take a financial literacy credit or an economics credit before they graduate high school.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's
I
really
like
good.
House Bill 92.
Yeah,
this is good.
I mean, we think, why wait till high school? Let's start early, you know? So that's where I come in.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, great. So tell us about the kind of things that you'll be teaching when you go to these classrooms.
Absolutely. So I can teach any financial concept. I'm not a financial planner or advisor, but the concepts, things like budgeting and saving, credit and credit scores, how to choose a financial institution and what the differences among them are, all the way to how do I spot scams and stay financially secure? Everything in between, loans, it's all a part of what I can teach.
This is amazing, especially, and I know we're talking about the importance of including this when, you know, you're younger, so then understanding the value of a dollar and what it means to save at a young age is very important, but I can also imagine too for high schoolers as they're looking at college education and understanding what is a financial loan? How does that impact me down the road? You know, why is it important, you know, to really focus on potentially getting those scholarships?
Exactly.
You know? Yes.
Totally.
So if people want you to visit their schools and come into the classroom or would love to have an education session, how does that work?
Yeah, so they can go to CapEd's website and go to educational resources where they can request a presentation. We have a QR code that they can use to access a form that will come directly to me that I can respond to. Or, I mean, really, they can even go into a CapEd branch and anyone at a CapEd branch can connect someone with me and then we can further the conversation from there.
Really? Yeah. Okay, and then so you do these in schools.
Yep.
Is there an opportunity for parents who are interested for their children to have some kind of lesson to reach out to CapEd and get access to other education?
Absolutely. We'd be happy to put on a literacy night where parents could attend and I could teach there. I also teach in organizations, so if your place of business is interested in having me come in and teach some of the concepts, I can do that. I work with several nonprofit organizations right now. We really want to make sure that we are giving people the financial empowerment. I mean, wellness is a whole thing. And so the ability to be financially well contributes to your mental and your physical wellness as well. So that's our mission. That's what we're working on.
Absolutely. Security, right?
Yes,
we all want to feel
exactly.
secure. We all want to feel safe. Here's one way we actually could have some control.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Love it. Brenna, I like you.
Oh, thank you.
This is great. Okay, I feel empowered now, especially as a parent. I'm loving what I'm hearing. So where do people go so they can learn more again? Tell us.
Okay, so they can go to our website and go to the educational resources page. They can also use the QR code, or they can walk into a branch and say that they want to be connected with me and get my contact information.
Wonderful. This has got to be empowering for you though too, right? Knowing
I
that you're
love
sharing
it.
this information.
I love it so much. It's wonderful.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, such a pleasure to meet you, Brenna.
You as well.
And I'm going to be reaching out because I think this is absolutely fantastic, and I really, really, really hope that many of you do exactly the same. We have a lot. We want to give a heartfelt thank you to all of our incredible teachers who always bring so much passion to their profession and strive to give their students the best possible leg up on the next grade or the next step in their lives. If you want to nominate an educator in your life as an innovative educator, go to the Innovative Educator page at ktvb.com. That wraps up our CapEd Credit Union Innovative Educator Special. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.